tense because I kind of scribbled it.
I was just so impressed with Tesco's sort of quality program. I thought, wow, it's good. Yeah,
so, Jill, tell us all about it.
fine. Yeah.
Okay, so we have a problem at the moment with golden delicious apples. So that's a bit complicated. I'll get into it. So we're going to run short. We're going to run short golden delicious apples because it's been an absolutely terrible season. Weather and all sorts of stuff has impacted it. We currently set our specifications on, the amount of bruising we can take in on apples. Claire will be able to tell it better than I do. We sort of set ours up here, and all the other supermarkets set ours there. So because we've got this particular scenario where we're going to go short, I want to propose dropping our methodology the same to all the other supermarkets. Sorry, Claire. I should test it on you. Dropping it to the same as all the other supermarkets to get through this really difficult period, which is about 3 months.
So temporarily drop it.
Temporarily drop it, and then put it back up after we've got through this difficult period from South Africa. So the person I'm trying to influence is David May, who is a blue through and through.
Okay, yeah.
A little bit like Mr. Bean.
Is he, although he's a blue, is he a personality? Is he approachable?
Yeah, I mean, I get on with him fine. He's a peer to me.
Yeah.
We haven't got the same boss, but we're in the same sort of, level, if you like.
How easy going?
Yeah, I speak to him about, family and what he's got to at the weekend. So yeah, we've got a good relationship. But he is quite inflexible when it comes to, that's my KPI. Not really fussed about your KPIs.
Okay.
Well, that's the experience I've had.
Yeah, okay.
All right then.
Whenever you're ready.
What's my name?
David. All right.
Hiya, Claire. How you doing? You all right?
Gillian.
Gillian. You look so much like my sister. Claire. Oh, God. Yeah, brilliant. You had a hot week?
It's been a really good week, actually.
Yeah.
The sales were brilliant last week.
You're on fire. You're buzzing, yeah?
Quality's good too, so it's all good.
You said on the phone you want to talk to me about something. How can I help you?
Well, it's about golden delicious apples. So, as we've previously spoken about before, we do have a bit of a situation coming up. And it's a bit tricky for me because obviously our vision at the moment is to be really collaborative with our suppliers. Sure, we want to build better relationships with them, better partnerships, show them that we're listening to their problems and acting on it.
Yeah.
And we've got a problem that's coming up that I want to talk to you about and get your help on.
Sure.
So, golden delicious apples, it's been a terrible season, as you know. And we are running short. It's been tight on a week-by-week basis, but we are coming up to a
This is
period.
weather-induced, I'm sure.
Yeah. So we are coming up to a period where we're going to run out basically, and not have enough to do all the stores.
Okay.
The problem that I've got, or speaking to the growers to try and find solutions with them, is they say that our specifications are quite difficult to manage compared to other competitors.
Pushing the brand.
Well, I understand that it's higher than everybody else's, and quite rightly so, because we want to have better quality. But the problem I've got is that we are out of line at the moment to everybody else, and that's reduced our availability of this apple line. I want to just get us back into line with the rest of the marketplace for a short period of time, just so that we can get through this difficult period, get the availability that we need, and once we've got away from the southern hemisphere and back into northern, we put the specs back up to where they used to be.
Okay.
If I can just give you a bit of context around this.
Far away.
So basically, it looks like it's going to be 3 months short, and if we are 3 months short, it's going to impact our sales by about £7 million, which is obviously quite considerable. And not really doable for me. We have looked at other solutions that we can get around. Well, it's all one team, David. So we have looked at other solutions and other things that we can do, such as taking the apples in bushels, loose apples, and packing them in the UK. That's got nearly a £4 million impact to do that rather than packing at source.
Okay.
So again, it's a huge cost increase to just get this through. And really, I'm looking for something short term, or even a trial that we could do to see what is that overall impact. But I need to do something because I can't just leave the situation as it is.
Short-term solution. What's it going to cost us if we change our methodology at the moment? You say it's going to cost us 3 points.
If we didn't change our methodology.
If we didn't change our methodology.
So if we took the loose apples in and packed them here in the UK, it would cost nearly £4 million to cover that period.
Okay.
However, if we change the methodology to being in line with the rest of the supermarkets, we could get through this difficult period of availability.
I think there are other solutions.
What kind of solutions would you recommend?
Because it's short term, because everybody's suffered because of the bad winter, what I would suggest is that we don't pack them at all, is that we get them in, we hopper the apples there, we've got some sort of marketing sign up to say, you know, we understand our customers, we always want to give top level service, you know, let the customers select. As used to do in the old days, see if they like it. If it works, it's a good one. But why are we going to save ourselves packing costs? It's going to be a short-term situation. It's there to keep our standards high. The customer selects, the onus then is on the customer that they are picking good produce.
Yeah, I understand that. I think we've trialled that in the past before, just going 100% loose in stores and getting rid of pre-packs completely. And we got a lot of negative customer feedback. Sales actually dropped off as well because they like the convenience of just being able to go in and pick up a bag. So
3 months, get a negative feedback, 3 months as opposed to long term.
negative feedback and also a big sales drop off.
Talking 3.2 million. If we go on the way we are at the moment. So if we take your idea of formula, what's it going to mean to me?
Well, I've spoken to various people throughout the business. So Emmanuel, our technical manager in the UK, she's fully bought in. I'll be honest with you, David, she had a similar opinion to yourself at the beginning and wasn't too keen, but she sees, you know, the bigger picture is we will have a massive sales loss and a market share impact as well. And we'll end up disappointing customers if we don't have these apples on the shelf.
I think we've got a situation now, haven't we, where realistically the customer's going to get tipped off whatever we do. Because if we lower our standards in the packs, then the customer's going to take it away and say, this is a pack, this has been selected by Tesco. Now, mainly it's been selected by Tesco and there is damage to it now. If it's hoppered, they select it. If they pick it that well, it's their choice.
Well, they'll still have the choice in stores, so we'll still carry on with the loose and the pre-packed line. So we know that customers are quite different that buy into pre-packs and those that buy into loose. So, you know, time-conscious people buy into the pre-packs and people with a bit more time on their hands and want that superior quality will always buy into loose. But they are two quite different customers and you don't tend to get that.
Damage limitation. What's it going to cost us to put some form of disclaimer, this is a temporary situation in the stores?
To cost us to just go with loose?
No, to go pre-pack, but to put some disclaimer on the displays to say that due to the bad winter, this is a temporary situation this year that you may find whatever. I mean, just to keep the customers happy.
It's an option, but I don't think you'd keep them happy because you're drawing attention to the fact that we would actually be saying we've got worse quality in these bags.
Mm-hmm.
What I'd like to do, and it may be, you know, a bit of a compromise, that we say, look, why don't we trial this in one depot and see what is the true customer feedback from doing it in one depot.
Where would you do that?
I'd probably propose doing it in Livingston, because then it's all the Scottish stores. You can quite easily get the data just for one country. And we could trial it for 3 to 4 weeks, gain the customer feedback. If it's awful and terrible, we need to go back to the drawing board and come up with something else. But if they don't notice much of a difference, it's definitely worthwhile going ahead.
Got a bit of damage limitation, doing it that far away, not. I mean, it's quite a major store that this stuff.
Yeah, well, it covers all the Scottish stores. I mean, we could choose any depot. I'd pick that one because it's quite easy to get the data from. What would you recommend? Which depot would you think we should do?
No, I'd go along with yours.
And now you're going along with that, I'm going to stop. Okay, how was that for you two?
Yeah, it's alright. Thankfully, the stuff you came up with saying was actually stuff we trialled in the past. So we did, you know, I had an answer on that one. But yeah, it's one of those. To be honest, this has been going on for years, and this is just kind of now it's getting to like, you know, the last straw type thing. So
I felt we were getting into positively. I felt we were getting into a negotiation situation.
Yeah, it felt
and it would have come to
yeah.
a positive outcome.
Yeah, and it might be
Because
I don't know,
your arguments were valid. They were put across very professionally.
And I think you got yourself working together to solve a problem together as opposed to being your problem. I know you kind of had a jokey thing about, I'm glad it's your budget, not mine, but you know, that very quickly that talking about actually we're going to lose £37 million over 3 months. It was like, okay. So we need to do something. So I think that quite quickly got him on side in terms of, okay, so what can we do? I'm not going to bother you around here.
Yeah.
But obviously he still had his concerns. What sort of techniques did you try and use? What was your plan?
Well, I tried to start with the vision, doing the whole collaboration, and
Yeah.
so we want to work with suppliers. I kind of skipped over expertise. I did what did I do? Talked about the other supermarkets that did it, so that was trying to do the
A bit of social
proof
proof,
thing.
but yeah.
And then the other people, like Emmanuel and Kathy.
Yes, that would, yeah.
She likes it, so you should too.
Yeah.
And then I guess the whole scarcity thing of, look, if we don't do it, then
Yeah.
we are going to run out.
That came through a few times. I think I picked up on that one actually. So,
Join in.
Yeah.
So,
and you might not have felt like you explicitly did expert, but you showed expert
Absolutely.
in the way that you had the answers, and actually there's this, and in this situation there's this.
Yeah.
So you might not sort of, oh, actually I'm going to do expertise now, but because of how you responded to everything, that expert came across really, really strongly.
Yeah, because when I was writing notes, I was like, not really sure, how do you show you're an expert? I guess
Yeah.
it just comes across, doesn't it, when you talk about it.
Exactly. So thoughts from you guys first?
Really, really informative. Everything God came back with, you had facts, figures, trials, everything. So you could,
Yeah.
you looked at it completely holistically and kind of covered it around. The only thing I would say is, didn't know what the ask was. Is who Bob's play? Is he a decision maker? Will he
Yeah,
help you do a trial?
Yeah, so it's a change in the methodology of the specification.
Right.
So David would write all the methodologies,
Right.
and if we want to change one, then it's his job, it's his. He looks after that.
he would have ultimate ownership of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So really he's nuts on the block if it goes wrong.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's quite a lot
yeah,
convincing you've
So
got to do
he's
it.
effectively, as it is at the moment, you've got all the risk, but potentially if he agrees to it and signs it off, then he's got most of the risk because he's going to change it. Effectively, I guess.
But
Yeah.
he's not paying for it though, is he? It's not his budget.
No.
is it?
Financially, he wouldn't be
cost
paid
effective.
for it, but his KPIs would be affected because it
That's
comes
what
to
it is.
feedback customer complaints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So his KPIs would be affected, as much,
Yeah.
even though financially he wouldn't directly be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess it's the balance. Again, one thing you might have, you haven't obviously prepared it to have facts and figures, but you might have the balance of, you've talked about, I think you talked about doing it in the hopper and free selecting them, and you talked about the negative feedback. So I've got to look at what I can do, if you really want, is I can look at the negative feedback we've got on occasions when we've run out of things previously, versus negative feedback of doing that, versus actually dropping the quality
Yeah,
slightly. So, from what we've seen from other stores, other competitors and for ourselves,
Yeah.
these are the options. That was one thing I was thinking about as you're going through. You gave a couple of options quite quickly at one point, and I think it might be quite useful to have done that up front and actually a double contrast. So saying, right, okay, this is a situation, it's now a critical point. The reality is that we're probably going to have 3 months where we're not going to currently we're not going to have 3 months without having these, and this is a potential impact. Here's a problem. I really need your help to come to a solution. So then we've looked at. I think it's quite good. I've spoken to a few people and I've got some ideas about things. I know it's really good. We've come up with there's three options that we think are are feasible in terms of what we might be able to do. So the first one is potentially that we leave it as it is, and the result from that will be that we're going to lose this amount of money and we're going to get negative customer feedback. They might go somewhere else, etc. The second option is that we we can not do it and we can just have them as loose, but we still want to have the prepared ones there. So there's that thing there. The third option, and this is the one that I would like to recommend, is that we drop our quality on a temporary basis. So it's still going to be better than having nothing. It's going to be no worse than they're going to get anywhere else. And so it's so do those and do that one as the last. So thinking, okay, there's risks on this one, there's risks on this one. But actually, these risks seem a little bit less.
A lot less, yeah.
And I think doing those three things and thinking about what he might have said, and then and putting that all together would have made him think, oh, okay, a little bit more than just kind of one. So I think that would have helped. And you started giving a concession. He didn't pick up on it. I don't know if he didn't hear it, but in the middle of it, we could even do a trial. So you were kind of at that point starting to give away a little bit. You didn't need to at that stage. I think when you did it formally later on, if you hadn't got him on board, I think when you did later, so well, actually, can we just try it in this one place? At that point, he was in agreement. But you might have ended up, if you'd carried on that route, having got him to agree to the whole thing, rather than just a trial. But yeah, any other thoughts from you guys on things that you'd like to feedback, suggestions?
Is this a real ask?
Yeah. Tomorrow,
He seems really calm and confident.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
came across really, really well in that, Jill, yeah.
He needs to.
Yeah, I mean, you exuded expertise. You absolutely knew your stuff. You used your social proof, you used your liking and rapport. You used your scarcity aspect within that, just maybe a little bit more on the contrast aspect of things as well. And again, maybe that commitment which you were coming to in the end, about, can we commit to a trial for X amount of period of time? So you kind of, you went through quite a lot of those influencing techniques throughout that. So
Battery in all angles.
exactly, well done.
Well done.
Okay, so sorry, John, because